This is a stream of consciousness, written at 4:30 a.m. after watching the first 6 episodes back to back. Video essays to me are my most intimate form of expression. I find myself to feel quite lonely when watching a TV show or a movie on my own. It feels isolating, having nobody to share that experience with. That's why I've been ignoring my movie list for months now. I just cannot bring myself to go through it on my own. That's how I end up rewatching comfort films again and again. But for normal people, I had to make an exception. You see, I only bought the book on a whim. Someone spoiled me the final scene of the show, and from that, I was intrigued. This tends to happen to me quite often actually. Someone ruins the ending, which makes me want to actually check it out. The tone, the vibe of that last scene, or should I say, last shot, really spoke to me. It felt exactly like the way that I would end the story. But I'm not going to get into spoilers yet, so please stay for a few brief moments. I will let you know when you need to go. I started listening to the audiobook while playing Animal Crossing. I tend to do that a lot. I busy myself while listening. I do my makeup, do the dishes, make breakfast, etc. This book was different from the beginning. It made me slow down the pace to normal speed instead of 2 times speed, and I'm someone who finds that a waste of time. I was hooked to my seat, I closed my game and I just listened, and that I did fully focused. The experience of reading this book was an agonizing 24 hours. What I found so special was the amount of stylistic choices I could predict, not having the book in front of me to pick ahead. And I know this might sound bad, but I do not mean that this book was predictable in any sort of way. Quite the opposite. But spending as much time as I do thinking and writing stories, I tend to overanalyze everything. Once I finished the book, tears streaming down my face uncontrollably, all I could do is stare blankly at my ceiling. I was so moved, so heartbroken, so seen. Painfully, I relate a lot with Marianne's desperate need to be loved. It breaks my heart to see myself through her, see the hardships I had to face in my early years, see the heartbreak, and hear my own heart ache from the memories. To give you some context, I am someone who always dreamed of being in a relationship. I grew up feeling like I was very unlovable. I wanted someone to love me so bad. So the first opportunity that came my way, I grabbed on it with everything I had. We were together for 2 years. He hated me. He hated everything about me. And he would tell me, and I would cry and beg. And when I would finally try to let go, he would shout and threaten. He was somebody so broken. I felt pity for him. I wanted to love him with all my heart, to help him become a better person. It was never enough. It never is. He would tell me how much he didn't love me in every anniversary of ours, even though it was he who insisted we celebrated each one. After that fiasco, I had been feeling the need to be on my own. I'm doing things for myself, like going to the gym, reading, cutting my hair short. I do my best to be the best version of myself, to be happy by myself. But that little part of me that always wanted to be loved feels so lonely. It feels so empty. And with it, so do I. Do I deserve love? Will I ever receive it? Is it pure luck? Is it just coincidence? Happenstance? What is it? And what have I been doing wrong all along? I think this is when you should leave if you haven't read the book or watched the show. Needless to say that I most emphatically suggest you do both, in that order. Thank you for your time. Now, let's put some spotlight on some of my favorite aspects of this story. Pain is beauty. It is uniquely beautiful, being able to feel and experience things on a more profound level. Every time I'm depressively sad, in my lowest of moments, I see the beauty of it all. How privileged I feel to be alive and experience these harrowing emotions. Here's to all the insecure girls looking for love in all the wrong places. Here's to their poor hearts and bitter tears. After finishing the show, all I could think was, I feel sick to my stomach and everything hurts. I cannot breathe. Seeing the story end again hit me differently. I think I interpret it a bit differently this time. I truly marvel over people who are able to write such stories. It is so hard for me to stomach ambiguous endings. I hate them with my whole heart. Yet, all my favorite stories end like that. by not ending. I think I am competent at comprehending that fictional people are fictional, but something hurts a very real part of my soul. Even then, I need to visibly see someone's ever after moment in order for me to feel content. Life, however, is not over until it ends. There are many ever afters each of us get to experience. Points in our lives, whole chapters, where we think, this must be it. This is where my story ends. After that, it's just life. Most important are the people who touch our lives and affect change. Those are the people we will still remember. Or is it better to say, those are the people we will never forget? Sometimes in life, the hardest lesson is to learn when to let go. And letting go in itself can feel like the most daunting thing of all. If you are stable on your own 2 feet, secure in yourself, everything is manageable. Life-altering situations always seem devastating, but handling them with grace gifts us with more power than we will ever need. I cannot help but feel hurt. I cannot help but still feel lonely. But it's a good thing. I have 2 feet. I can do this. And so can you.